What's up, everybody? Cletus Ray's Roadside Service. We are a little bit unexpected events. I've got quite a bit to go over. They fired a guy this morning. They fired a guy, so now I'm taking his run. He runs up. I used to do the run. I kind of I don't know if I'm the one that taught him how to do it or not, but he was doing it way wrong, and I kept telling him to do it the right way. He would not do it the right way. But I got to go to Des Moines, get loaded, and then come down. I'm going to get loaded up with like 18 totes and then take it to the landfill. Nothing too crazy. Nice little drive today. Probably 10 and a half hour day. Not bad for a Friday. I could have showed up a lot earlier, but I decided not to. It doesn't really matter. The landfill's going to be open. The place that I'm getting loaded is going to be open. Nobody's. I'm not holding anybody up except for myself. But yeah, it's kind of funny. This is a fucking guy. He's one of the only people that I've heard he does not like me. He doesn't believe my stories. He thinks I'm not very smart, and for some reason, which this is really odd, he thinks that I leave trucks with trash in them. Uh, I can guarantee you, I don't leave trucks with trash in them. I always clean out my trash and more than just my trash out of trucks when I leave them. I don't wipe them down, but I fucking clean them up. I pick up the trash and shit. Anyway, so he thinks I'm an idiot slob. I've never really worked with him, so I don't know how he's even really coming to that conclusion or whatever. But um, it's just funny because I show up last night after that job, which we'll get into. But um, they're like, "Oh, you got to run the dry van up to Des Moines tomorrow." I said, "Oh, okay." Uh, was that not? Is that other guy not going to do it? The guy that don't like me? They're like, he doesn't like you. I was like, no, he's never liked me. I don't know what it is. He seems like he's an okay guy whenever we're around each other, but I guess to everybody else, he actually does not like me, which is kind of it's funny. I wave at him all the time, and he'll wave back, or sometimes he won't, which is also really funny. But they're like, oh, well, he's getting fired in the morning. He doesn't know he's getting fired yet. Please don't say anything to anybody. The only reason I'm telling you is so because I need you to know that you're doing that job. I'm like, oh, all right, sounds good to me. And anyways, so this is a job that we do every single day. So he doesn't do anything but this job every day. So I don't know if I'm going to be stuck doing this every day until my power plant starts producing more waste. I don't know, but I want the power plant job. I don't want to do this. Is fine. I'm home every night, which is kind of cool. But I really like getting per diem, so I'd really rather do the other job. And the other job is running a tanker. It's cooler. It's just, and I get to stay at the Holiday Inn, and I get breakfast every morning. And no, I'm not. I'm only in a rush like once. In this job, I'm not in a rush. I don't have to be in a rush. But if I start later, just to make the guys at the landfill a little happier, I try to rush there. But what the fuck ever. They work at the landfill. Sorry, you guys are open till then, till this time. I'm going to be showing up around that time. Anyways, my job yesterday really pissed me off. Last episode I was talking. I said I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. We had to put a pig in a line. That's the only information I had was there's a line like a sewer pipe, and it needs to be plugged up with a pig. It's a big inflatable tube, really heavy fucking tube. And then you got to air it up to like 25 psi, and it'll stop any liquid coming through that pipe or whatever. Not a big deal. And then I woke up to a phone call. I don't know about it earlier than I needed to be up, and it was my boss. She said, "Hey, um, the supervisor for your job is not able to make it in. He has a family emergency. I feel bad for him. I don't know what's go. I don't even know what the emergency is, but if it's a family emergency, I feel bad for him. I hope he's all right. I hope everything's okay." But she said, "Do you know how to run the confined space trailer?" I was like, "I mean, I've never been the one in charge of running the confined space trailer. I don't really know exactly what need I'm going to exactly need. You know, that's usually a supervisor's job." Um, she's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to get a supervisor from the emergency department to kind of help you out." I said, "All right, sounds good." And she's like, "Yeah, so it's confined space. So I don't know if you know this, but you need to shave." I'm like, "Are you fucking with me?" You know, and I say that to her. It's early in the morning. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just I can go on. I can get pretty angry in the mornings. You know, pretty quickly. Especially whenever somebody wakes you up and says, "Hey, you need to be here and shaved." I'm like, "Are you fucking with me?" She's like, "I'm so sorry. You know, there might be bad stuff in the pit." I'm like, "I'm not going to be going in the pit." She's like, "You might have to go in the pit." I'm like, "God damn it." And I hang up. So I run in the bathroom and I shave my fucking beard off like immediately. I'm like, "This is fucked." You know, what I should have done is just brought my razor with me and been like, "Yeah, I have my razor. If I need to shave, I'll fucking shave." But I didn't. I'm a fucking dumbass. And I just like cleaned up my beard the other day, like really nice. So it was looking really good. I was very happy with my beard. I actually took a little bit of length off of it because it was perfect. And then I hop on the bike and I ride to work, and I'm like, "This fucking sucks." I'm so fucking pissed. My face is extra cold now because my beard actually kind of insulates my helmet a little bit. It's kind of nice. And now it just feels like there's a giant gap there, and I can feel like a little piece of hair inside my helmet fucking touching my face and shit. I'm like, "God damn it." I get to work and I get to the truck that I need to take, which is a guzzler. I just make sure it's ready to go, and I go grab a cup of coffee, and I park out, and I'm just fucking upset. And then the other guys show up, and we go up over to the pit, which turns out I thought might have been like, around town somewhere. No, it was right behind our shop because it was on the levee. They have all these wells placed, and then at the bottom of the wells is where the sewer pipes kind of converge and whatnot. So um, we go up there, we're messing with it, we get the tripod, we get everything set up, and then me and another dude are up there, and so the tripod has two winches attached to it, and these winches are kind of heavy, and then one leg has nothing on it, and we're over an open pit, and we're trying to get everything set and ready, and the guy that was on the other side of it pulled on the tripod to like stand up or something, and the whole tripod fucking tipped over. I about fall in the fucking pit. Shit's going fucking everywhere. We're trying to hold the tripod. Don't let the tripod fall in the fucking pit. And then I'm wearing my hoodie, and I swear, we hear something fall down the well and go kaboom, and it's a 50-foot well. So 50 feet down, and I was like, I reach in my fucking pocket after we get everything settled down, and I hear the kaboom. I feel in my pocket. I'm like, "Where the fuck is my cell phone?" He's like, "Was that your cell phone?" I'm like, "It better not have been my fucking cell phone." But Android is pretty waterproof. I just had the screens replaced, so I was like, hopefully it can survive in a sewer for a few minutes to 45 minutes submerged, because we got to get somebody suited up to get down in that fucking pit, and I'm not fucking suiting up. So I waited for somebody else. I was like, my cell phone might be down there in there, or it might be in my fucking truck. And after we get everything kind of situated and we're getting somebody suited up, I go over there to my truck, open up the door. My heart was filled with joy when I saw my cell phone sitting in the cup holder. I said, thank the fucking Lord, my cell phone. So I go back over to the pit, and he's like, so we're going to send this guy down to get your cell phone, and then he'll come back out, and then he'll get to work. I was like, my cell phone's in the truck, dude. He's like, well, what the fuck fell in the pit? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. And then he looks around, he's like, the air monitor. And the air monitor fell in the fucking pit. And it had the pump on it and everything, so now that thing's got to get all fucking deconned and fucking cleaned up and make sure it works good and still. But we had people going in on supplied air. We have a full face respirator. That's why I had to shave, is because technically everybody needs to be able to be a rescue whenever you go on one of these jobs. So, I mean, technically I did need to shave, but we had 3 people that were already fully shaved, ready to go in the pit. So me shaving, and I shouldn't have to shave because I got to run the other truck. Like the other 2 guys, their job is to get in the pit and clean it. My job is to get the truck set up and run the truck, and then go dump the truck and everything. If I'm going in the pit, if I'm doing all of this shit, I would have been. It would have. I guess that would have been justification for me shaving. But I'm not. I'm not about to be doing every single part of this fucking job. And actually, the supervisor ended up going in also. But it was just like a roller coaster of fucking shit going on. And then once I did get my cell phone, and we had people in the pit, and we had other people watching, we have hole watches and stuff, and my phone dings, and I go over to it. Guess what, buddies? My fucking fuel tank and my dirt bike tires and my starter cover all showed up to my house. Bunch of boxes, showed up to my house. So I texted the wife. I said, bring that shit inside. I can't fucking wait. And we finished the job. It wasn't that bad. I could go into details about the job, but I don't know. It's a pig. It's a big fucking rubber inflated tube or whatever, and you drop it down well, you don't drop it. You hoist it down into the pit, and then you got to inflate it just a little bit to give it shape, and then float it. Luckily, there was water in there. We could float it into the pipes, because only one guy can go down at a time. Really, there's not much room down there. Float it into the tube, and then hook up an air line to it. We had a little air compressor, air that bitch up to 25 psi. It inflates, it seals off the pipe, and we had 2 of them we had to do. And then so we get those done, and then one of our guy was in there. He was about done cleaning, but the waste and water and all that shit that was in there was up to his waist. It was waist high. So after we got the pigs put in and we got it cleaned up, the guys were like, "Oh, we need to remove that one pig," and I'm like, "Are you fuck?" She just called me again. I don't know if I've been recording. I feel like I've been. I guess that 14 minutes is about right. So, like, I don't know if you guys understand, but we removed the pig, and then it flooded that fucking pipe, that whole well again. So then we had to clean everything again, and it ended up being a long day. But I only had 2 dumps. I only had to dump twice. So, whatever. It was a good time. Not really. And then we finally got off work at like 4 o'clock. Went back up to the shop, got it, and I had shit on me. It was not fucking cool, but we ended up running over to, or I hopped on the DR and rode home. I've been riding it every day. And, yep, sure enough, all my shit was there. I got the new tank installed. Super fucking thrilled with that. Now, it's an oversized tank, so there's a couple adjustments you got to make. And, the seat does not go on near as easy. It's not, it's a little bit, steeper of a tank than my original tank. Um, so it was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but not bad. I had to hammer it on. I had a little hammer, and where the bolts go through the seat, I had to hammer that forward. Because I tried pushing the seat, and I could not push it. I tried to banging on it and everything, could not get it. So instead of using like a rubber mallet on my seat, I didn't want to like stretch the fabric or something or fuck it up. So I just hammered on those mounts, and I got it to go forward. Luckily, this is a $500 seat, my sergeant seat. So if I would have broke those fucking mounts off, I'd have been fucking upset. But everything's fine. Everything's on there. And kind of part of me is kind of wondering if maybe because you've motorcycles, they got a strap. A lot of them have a strap that goes over the seat. And I'm wondering if maybe I find a piece of, like, get an old belt or something and just get it cut to the right length and drill holes in it and maybe try to put some sort of washers or something on it. I won't need to bolt my seat down to a specific location. I can just set it on there and then just bolt this strap to it, and then it's not going to fall off. It's not going to go anywhere. Um, that might be an option. If I'm just worried, like if I need to take my seat off, not at home or not at on the side of the road or in a parking lot or something, and I don't have a hammer and my chisel with me, it might be kind of a pain in the ass if I need to take the seat off to look at the battery or something. And that's another thing I've been thinking about. I haven't been looking at, but I've been thinking about is possibly moving some, like putting some leads on my battery terminals that go to where I can just take off a side panel or something, so I can or I can charge up the battery. Because if I have to jumpstart that fucking thing, you got to take all this shit off, and it's not that bad. It's only 4 bolts, but 6 bolts to get the battery out and everything. So it's not that big of a deal. But if I just want to throw my bike on a trickle charger overnight or something, or I'm going to park it for a little bit, it would be nice if I could just walk up to it and fucking put some leads on it and call it good. But can't. Got to take the whole fucking thing apart. Not a big deal. I just wish that battery was kind of accessible through the side panel. I might look into that. I don't know. But yeah, got the tank on. It came with some new hardware. It needed some old hardware. The tank also did not really want to fit where it needed to go, but I got it. Everything's nice and tight and good. And I pulled my tires out of the box. Those tires are going to look fucking good, man. Like my bike, the tires are really going to make the bike look way fucking better. Because the wore out street tires on there right now just don't look good on the damn thing. So I'm excited to get those tires put on, which I do have a job. I'm on call this weekend, and I do have a job that I got to do this weekend, but I got most of Saturday morning available. So I might see if I can go get my tires swapped out Saturday morning somewhere. tomorrow morning. It's Friday, motherfuckers. And trying to think what else. Sunday, my new exhaust, the mid pipe is showing up, which I need to install my muffler. I already got the muffler. And whenever I remove the muffler, I don't want to remove the muffler right now. Obviously, because I'd have to put the old one back on. If I'm going to take the muffler off, I'm going to put the new one on, just so I don't have to. I don't know. You can take it apart as many times as you want. You're not really going to wear it out. But my starter motor, I got the new cap for it, and you got to take a lot of shit apart to get to that starter. So I'm kind of waiting for whenever I'm installing the muffler, which will probably be on Sunday at some point in time, maybe even Sunday night. I don't know. Whenever the fucking pipe comes in, I'll go ahead and dig into that starter and put the new starter motor cover on. And I've been saying the name wrong. I kept saying it Nicantic or whatever. Nicence. But it's actually, the company name is called Nice CNC. It's all one word, but it's Nice CNC, and they make a fuckload of parts for the DR650s, which is awesome. A lot of the shit is kind of just for show or gimmicky or whatever, but they are nice machined parts. I've got, right now, the only thing I have from them is fork covers, and they're fabric, so they're not even CNC'd, But I was looking at, they have a YouTube channel, and it's a pretty badass YouTube channel. I thought they would have a section for the DR650s, but they don't, like a playlist, but they don't. But if you just search nice CNC DR650, you can see all the parts they got. And there are a couple of things that I'm like, that would be cool to get. Like their skid plate looks pretty fucking cool. I already have a skid plate, so it's not looking like I'm probably going to end up swapping out skid plates. But that one does look pretty fucking cool. And they have one, or they have like bash bars. Or it's like a bar that goes through the front motor mount. And on the end of it, it's got some, like, I don't know, plastic ends on it. So if you lay your bike over, it's probably gonna land. It's not gonna, your engine isn't gonna land on the ground. So that is something I didn't even know existed. I might look into getting those, depending on how much they are. But this starter motor cover looks like a pretty intricate piece for them to program and get cut out and everything, and it was cheap. So I think it's just made out of aluminum. It's nothing. It's not like a protective cover. It's basically just the bearing end to hold your starter or whatever. So, and I will be putting a little bit of grease in there, even though it's got a sealed bearing. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in there just to make sure it's good or whatever, and put a little grease around the O-ring. And I got some electrical parts cleaner. I'll probably like clean up the starter a little bit. The brushes inside there might be a little bit worn or whatever. I don't know. The starter works great on my bike. Like all yesterday, I decided to take a long way home with a bunch of traffic lights, and I turned it off at every red traffic light I went to. I turned it off, and then to fire that thing up, it just and it fires right up and it goes. So the starter works great, but I did. This is, I don't know if anybody was worried, but I did put the brace back on my handlebars. Um, I rode it. It seemed fine. But where my phone was mounted, even though that's exactly where I would want it to be, the ignition was in a bad spot. You know, the ignition is kind of sunk down in the front, and having my phone mounted right in the center made it kind of hard to get in there and get the fucking turn the key and like lock your uh, handlebars and everything. It's kind of a pain in the ass with that phone mount there, even with no phone in it. So I moved the phone mount over to the left, and where I moved it, I could put the brace back on, and now my phone isn't going to be completely centered on the handlebars, but it is there. It's not in the way of anything. I got great visual on it, and it's closer to my clutch hand, which is good. So I can, if I need to touch something on my phone or whatever, you know, because if you let off the throttle to fuck with some shit, you know, you're slowing down quickly unless you clutch it. But you know, I can ride with one hand and you know, just like open my map or turn on my speedometer or answer a phone call or something. Well, answering a phone call, I could just tap on my fucking helmet, but pretty cool. Pretty happy with everything. I did my first fuel up with the new tank this morning, and let me tell you, it took $12, and I already had poured in the gas from my old tank, so I mean, obviously it holds more, but my old tank, you couldn't. It would take you forever to fill it up to $10. Like if you were completely empty, like running on the reserve and everything, it would. Oh, and I forgot to fucking turn my gas off. God damn it! I might have to call somebody at the shop to see if they can turn my gas off. Now that I think about it, because I don't want it to flood the fucking. I cleaned my carburetor. I don't know if I cleaned it good enough. It'll be fine. It'll be fine for one day. And I got an oil change coming this weekend, so as long as I as long as it's not full of gas, I can ride the bitch home. I think it'll be all right. I don't know. Now you got me thinking. But anyways, yeah, the old tank, it had something rattling around inside of it, and it had some sort of a filter contraption that would keep it wouldn't you would have to fill it up, kind of like if you got a soda pop at the fountain. And you fill it all the way up, but then the fizz is there, and you got to wait for the fizz to go down. Now, there wasn't fizz in my bike, but it would fill all the way up, and you would have to wait for a little bit, and it would slowly bleed down, and then fill it back up, and then bleed it down. And you're only doing like 20 cents at a time. You know, you're not putting that much fucking fuel in there. But I want to fill it up. When I'm fueling up, I want it full. I don't want to have. I know what I can get on a full tank, and I want it to be fucking full. Um, Now this morning I didn't fuel it all the way to the tip top, but it was really cool. I could just put the gas handle in there and let her fucking go, and it wasn't gonna fucking overflow, you know, quickly, and it wasn't gonna take forever for the fuel to get down in the tank. I will say last night, or I've watched a lot of tank installs, and people they put the pet cod on the tank, the new tank, before they install it. They put the pet cod on there, and they dump a little bit of fuel in there and swish it around to get any like dirt and contaminants or whatever, possibly plastic shit, you know, out of their tank, and then they dump it out. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna dump fuel in it and install it and call it good. And then I did that, but it's a white tank. My other tank, it was like gray on the inside and you couldn't see it. This tank is bright white. You could see down into the tank on both sides from the fill hole. And there was quite a bit of little dirts and shits in there. I was like, oh fuck, there's dirt in there. But my Petcot has a filter screen on the Petcot, and then it goes into another filter before it goes to the carb. So any contaminants will get caught. But I don't think any of those contaminants are gonna, because the Petcot screen is super small. Like my fuel line filter is never gonna catch anything because it's a big micron filter. It's not like a paper filter or anything. But I don't know. I might end up having to run it empty and then rinse it out at a later date. But it ran fine this morning. So even if there is a little bit of contaminants, it'll be fine. And it's set up for a dual Petcot. I could drill out the other side. I just got to get a little O-ring and a couple of screws, and I can put a second Petcot on that side, which I thought about doing. But honestly, if I'm running that low on fuel, I'd rather have that reserve on that side. If you're riding and you run on reserve and then you run out of reserve, you can lean the bike over and get that fuel from the other side to the left side and have even more fuel. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I'd rather not just run out of fuel completely and be like, oh, fuck. Plus, I don't want to have to run a fuel line over into a T, and then, that seems like a lot. But I'm wondering if that little bit of dirt and shit came out of my old tank. I don't know. You can't see the shit when you're pouring it, but once you pour it in there, you can look down in there. You see little black specks and shit. I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. And the fuel cap, it's not a locking fuel cap, and it's got a purple tube. I want to get a new tube. I don't want a purple tube, but for the fuel vent. And a lot of people just have like a short stubby one, little short stubby fuel vent right there. But then if you are going off-roading or whatever, and the fuel is smacking the top of the tank, it could potentially put fuel on you. I'm not doing that stuff, but right now the fuel line just goes down right through the tube for the fork, right in between the handlebars or whatever. Which mine had a plug in it, which was interesting. I was like, oh, cool, there's a little plug here. I just popped the little plug out, and then I could put my fuel line down there. And the cap, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. I might get a different cap. I might look for like a locking gas cap. But also, I don't know. I don't really give a shit that much. It is kind of nice to be able to run up to a fuel stop, because that's what I did this morning whenever I went to go put fuel in it. I get to the fuel island, and then I turn off the bike, and I pull the keys out. But there's only one key. I already took the locking gas cap key is with the other tank now. And I was like, I don't even need the keys, I could pull up here and leave it in neutral, leave it running, and fucking fuel this bitch up. But no, I shut it off. I'm going to shut it off for traffic lights. I'm going to shut it off for fuel stops. And very, very happy with it. I did have to relocate my blinkers. So, and I should have looked it up a little bit more. I've seen people, they just say, they're like, oh yeah, you put your left blinker on the right side and your right blinker on the left side, and you got to bend a little tab or cut them off. So I just kind of looked at it, and I got it easy. Everything was nice and quick. Just put a crescent wrench on there and just bent the tab and put them on there, and now they're a lot higher. Which is cool, because now when the blinkers are on, I can actually see my front blinkers without leaning forward. I can be riding, and I can tell if my blinkers are on or not. Even though I have a blinker indicator, which now that I move my phone to the left, my blinker indicator is to the right. Now I can actually see it a lot better. Um, but I don't know. I really want to I want to lift my ignition, but that seems like a process. There's a lot of bolts that go in and you got to take the whole headlight and all that wiring and all that shit. You got to remove all that shit just to get to the ignition, and then move the ignition. And then what if the wires aren't long enough? And then how do you mount it higher? So I started looking up last night at dashboards for the DR650 because I've seen people have them, but turns out all the dashboards utilize the same key spot. They just have a cutout in the dashboard where you can put the key. So I'm like, well, that sucks. So I won't be doing that, but I think I am going to get some sort of a little tool pouch that I can mount, because I have a lot of room back there now behind the phone mount and behind the number plate. So much room. I might try to find like a little pouch. I don't think I even need to strap it down. I just grab a little pouch and just shove it back in there, and should be good. Like, shouldn't have any problems. Uh, what else was I need to get some new handlebar bark busters or whatever. Because mine, after everything, and I was looking at it trying to make sure my blinkers were straight, my handlebar covers are fucking shitty. I like them, but they're all twisted. They got wrong brackets, mismatched hardware. It's kind of jank. That's how it was when I bought it, but I might swap those out to some different ones. And then that's another thing that I've seen a lot of people do is the handlebar covers or guards or whatever. They make those with blinkers in them, so I could just remove my old looking blinkers completely and have handlebar blinkers. But I kind of like the old ones. I kind of like the boxy old Japanese blinkers. Swap it out with some China junk. I don't know. But the blinkers were mounted to the forks, and whenever you turn with the new tank, since it's much bigger, your blinkers would hit. They do flex a little bit, but you don't want to flex them unless you have to, because first off, they're old, and you can tear the rubber, and then they'll be loose and floppy, and nobody wants a floppy blinker. Yeah, man. Super fucking excited for this weekend. Putting that muffler on there. I think that's going to be my favorite, other than the tires. My favorite thing is going to be that new muffler. It's going to look totally different because that old muffler is giant, dude. It's going to sound way better, I think. A lot louder, which I'm fine with. I like having it loud. But yeah, right now, whenever you floor it around somebody, I mean, it's loud and it'll get loud. It sounds okay, but compared to my uncle's bike, which I don't have the muffler he got, but his muffler sounds fucking awesome. Every time I'm next to him and he fires that thing up, I'm just like, God damn, that thing sounds so fucking good. Now this muffler kind of looks like his muffler, and I've got a decibel thing. It says a removable decibel thing or whatever. I don't know. So I can take this thing out and it'll be louder, but I hope it doesn't sound super raspy. My uncle's bike sounds nice and deep, so I'm hoping this one will sound nice and deep. I'll just install it with everything on it and then take it off. Take off the decibel thing and listen to it, but I'll probably end up just leaving it on there because no matter what I put on there, it's gonna be more free flowing than that fucking original exhaust. That original exhaust is fucking crazy. Um, yeah, I can't wait to get these fucking tires on there too. And I might look. I really should order it now while I got the rear tire off. I might have to take the rear swing arm off, and re-grease the rear swing arm, and also replace my chain guard. Not like the chain guard, but there's like a little rubber thing that goes around the swing arm, and I need to get a new one of those. But those, it sucks because it's like $60 for a little piece of rubber. So I don't know. When I get the wheel off, I'll look at it and I'll try to fix up some shit. I got some rubber laying around. I got an old tire. I got an old tire. I could cut the old tire and uh, put some screw holes in it and bolt that on there. It doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be the exact part. It's just got to be rubber to protect the swing arm. And I've yet to test out the welder still. I don't know what my first thing is going to be, but lengthening the kickstand would be fucking cool. I would like to just, chop the kickstand and put another little, extend it by, I don't know, an inch, 2 inches, because that thing leans over quite far right now. Now, I might be upset with it whenever I extend that kickstand, because right now it leans over so far, my fat ass, I can swing my leg over the bike pretty easy. So I don't know. If I extend the kickstand, I'll just have to step on the peg before I throw my leg over, which is the way you're supposed to hop on those fucking things. But right now I don't. Speaking of the pegs, I would like to get new peg mounts, new peg bolts and everything, because if one of them pegs breaks off, you're kind of in the shit right there. But I don't know. They're not showing any signs of breaking off. I'm sure they can hold me, but just imagining putting all your weight on one peg to swing your leg over, and the thing snapping and you racking your balls, and then realizing you got to ride it with no fucking peg. That would suck. So fucking excited about this. Now, the thing that's been neglected is the truck. That's the whole reason. That's what I was thinking I was going to be working on, was the fucking truck. No, I'm just kidding. That truck, I don't know. I looked at another video. A guy said he replaced a little sensor on his truck and it made it run way better. So I might look into getting a sensor for it and seeing if that will help it out, because I don't know, with how many adjustments of the timing that I've done, it still shouldn't be running as bad as it is. So, and then I got to run over and get a muffler for the truck, and I think I'm just gonna run up to a U-wrench it and grab a fucking muffler, bring a hacksaw with me, and chop. I'm gonna try to keep my Y pipe, but after my Y pipe and then on, I'm gonna need all that shit. And then I got the welder. That'll be good. Either weld the kickstand first or try it on my muffler. I don't know. I'll probably just have some other shit laying around in the garage I'll weld up. I do need to get goggles. I found a pair of goggles. I don't really want the whole face shield and everything. I mean, that would be kind of cool, but I think just getting some goggles. I'm not going to be doing any welding for a long period of time. But then, you never know. Look at me next week. I might look like a fucking raccoon. Uh, you know, wearing goggles only, and the rest of my face gets all burnt. I got a gator. I'll put the gator on. How about that? And I'll wear a hat. Yeah, I'll be protected. Anyways, I think I'm done talking. This was I like this episode. I'm happy for the things I got going on. I got a couple of podcasts I'm gonna have to listen to. Luckily, I got a nice drive here. Um, the world is a fucking crazy place. Not gonna even really comment on that, other than the world is a fucking crazy place. But I got dirt bikes to work on. Well, a dirt bike. I got cool shit going on right now, and I don't know. Hopefully, here real soon we'll have a little 50cc to fuck around with and talk about. Get my son into that fucking thing. Adios. Keep all 18 down. Talk to you later.